just a quick recap. Obviously, you come back from your experiences of dealing with the Bent Cur, who you came to know as Kagor, a strike commander in the First Imperial Legion of the Aramic Empire. Right? You have received the commission of which an entity like him having a commission issued to you has drawn a great deal of questions in your own mind about the involvement of potentially the Solemn Council, the disruptive force within the Order. But those doubts were lost in fatigue as you returned to the tent, thinking at last you were going to get some rest after virtually not sleeping for like almost 24 hours. You know, you're on a high level of potential exhaustion, only to find with Squadge making a paranoid search of your tent's entrance that not only had it been tampered with and entered, but searched with a level of incredibly highly skilled thoroughness, even to the point where your knot's signature knot, which is like a safety step you take, you can leave behind to signify if something has been tampered with or to let people know you're there, had been reconstructed in an incredibly skilled manner. Someone who either had the opportunity to have studied your knot at some point or been acutely aware of it, which makes you feel the only person who could have done that. It was either done by someone under the direction of someone within your own order, or alternatively a member of your own order had done that. The first thing I'm going to ask you to do in today's session is I want you all to make a Constitution saving throw around fatigue. It will be at disadvantage because I'm going to rule that based on your most recent adventures, lack of sleep, you're all basically at the first level of exhaustion. So I'm going to argue that it's at disadvantage. So Filialis, you crash. You're exhausted. Windrah, you do the same. Yeah.
Oh, I'm out before anyone.
Yeah. You're hyper alert for about an hour after you first get there. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning, and you know you're, as I said, almost a day and a third without rest. And no matter what you try to do, you all fall asleep. Now, looking at that, what do we have there? Windrah. You are lying near the door, just where you previously sort of picked a spot on one of these rented bedrolls. You'd examined it to double check that it was clean and suitable for your needs and free of metal, you know, like the usual sort of things that you would normally do almost ritualistically. But it does place you near the door, which Squadge has made a great effort of making sure all the toggles have been re-secured and things like that before he fell into a slumber. You see one of the toggles turning. Squadge has lit a candle. I'm going to say Squadge lit one of the stubs of his candles that he'd managed to grab from a previous point, and it's giving a low light in this tent, enough for you to see the reflection of the candlelight moving on this polished wooden toggle on the inside. The ones on the outside you originally examined have been weathered over the years. This tent's probably been set up here for this rental purpose, maybe for 10, 12 years. Beautiful canvas, well made, but the polish on the outside is worn off, but the inside is enough to reflect that glare, and you can see it turning. You look out through what gaps there are, and you can see that it is still dark. Dawn hasn't arrived yet, but a fair bit of time has passed, and you only know that because just the movement of the moons. You can see the moonlight at a certain point, which was different to where it was when you went to sleep.
like to try to quietly, without rustling at all, get out of my bed and move to the side of the top. Yeah, like
Right.
out of the way of the opening.
Yeah. As you do that, all of you mechanically, you are all now fully rested. You've all had enough sleep to have effectively had a long rest. So, as you get up Windrah, I want you to make a stealth roll for me as you try to slide out and reach for your, you know, your jerkin and things like that, and your storm cloak. Okay. Oh no, the rest of you are asleep, guys. You're not even awake yet.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah. But as you do that, no, that's fine. You quietly pull your jerkin on, like very quietly, and pull your storm cloak around you. As you see another one of the toggles slowly turns, and you see the bottom one now. Now that another one has been released, you see the bottom has popped out a bit, and there's a bit of a morning breeze. You can feel the estuarine breeze, so you know you may be only an hour or so from dawn, the first rays of dawn. Everything is quite quiet, even the Grand Tavern off in the distance. All you can hear is the occasional like clanging of a pot, like the scullions who work there in an operation that's almost 24 hours a day are obviously doing the clean-up at the moment. And you hear someone curse with the crash of a plate or a platter at some point off in the distance. And when that noise happens, you see the second toggle stops turning suddenly, and then when the noise you have heard expires, it goes back to turning to the unlock position, and you see that one pops out of it. Okay, so you've got yourself at least basically dressed. You've managed to pull your boots on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who is the closest to me?
What we will say, we'll go by the actual save rolls that you made. So your con save was the highest. The next highest was Filialis. So Filialis would be the closest to you.
I might sort of try and rouse Filialis without too much noise. Maybe a hand over the mouth and kind of a shake so they don't scream out.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and do that. Now, what I'll ask you to do is make a performance roll, but at advantage, because you guys have done this before. Okay, so that's enough. You shake. It's almost not enough. You see, Filialis is like really quick reflexes. Like one of her hands comes up and grabs you, eyes open, and you see for the briefest moment the flare of a transition into the honey badger. That sort of animalistic reaction. And you see it flares back again when Filialis realises who you are.
I'm trying to like,
Conveying that. And that performance roll based on you guys' familiarity and the fact that you do have some, you've got a +3 in performance is enough. So Filialis, you're just sitting there looking up at Windrah, being thankful that Squadge lit that stub of a candle, which is still faintly burning, because you think if you hadn't have seen who this was, that clearly it would have been a different result. But you quickly get the message of what Windrah is telling you.
and then I think she'll sort of move back to be out of the way of the opening.
Yeah. Right. So you finish just moving back. Filialis, I'm not sure. Tell us, like, how does Filialis crash? You know, like being a sort of a savant. Are you the kind of person who neatly folds your gear as you go to bed, or you just like collapse in spots and lie on there?
No.
Yeah.
Well, it probably wouldn't be neat, but it would be away.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Good boy.
Yep.
He's got something.
Okay. So you would then also have to gather some items, and I gather you're trying to do that quietly.
Well, I guess in a combat sense, I don't really need to gather much. that I could probably just
Well, thanks, mate. I'm just
I think what I want to do is I want to just sort of be sort of in position to like sort of next to the entrance to sort of
Yeah.
jump
Or-
someone who tries to come in.
All right. So what I'm going to say is you sort of stepped over your bedroll, right? This ornate
Yeah.
sort of vaguely sort of wicker-sided bedroll, and you step over to the other side of it, like on the side of the doorway, within reach. But with that, I'm going to say that you've gotten up. You're in your normal attire. You haven't put your boots on though. Your boots, you've still got your socks on, but your boots are over there. So like you climb up and you get to that point. So that being the case, you still have two of your companions as you're doing that. I'll get you to make a stealth roll for me though. This is just to see if there's any trigger amongst the outside figure, or you're right. No, you creep in. As you get into position, you see the third toggle pops, and now the breeze is pushing the flap in. So what I'm going to say now is that I want both Squadge and Damian to make a perception roll, but the DC will be 13 to see whether or not you wake up. You can't use perception or another skill because you're asleep. This is just natural. Do you suddenly feel the breeze? What's going on? Yeah.
What about passive?
No, because I'm going to say in this you're exhausted. You're going through an exhausted sleep. Go ahead.
Squadge sleeps with one eye open.
Yeah. That's what us paranoid people do, right?
You're good.
They all came out at the same time.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
No, look, I'm happy with that. I think 12 is close enough. You roll up, and probably a little bit after Squadge. So, Squadge, what are you doing as you start waking up and Damian sort of shakes a sleepy head behind you?
So I've woken up because of a sound
Yeah.
or the breeze.
In your case, you've woken up because of the sound.
Mm.
In the case of Damian, I think, Damian, you've woken up because of the smell of the sea. Like the scent of it was waking you up. So your eyes don't quite open straight away. You're sort of like why is it breezy? And why can I smell the sea? That's going through your head. So, Squadge, it just means you can take an action first, and then we'll go to Damian.
Yeah. So I'm going to just I'm going to look around. You know how when you wake up, you stay still and then you look around to see what's happening, survey the room.
Yeah.
I'm going to pretend to roll over asleep and then survey the other side of the room.
Okay. So you roll over, make an investigation roll for me, because you're looking in the fringes of darkness as well. Oh, it ain't great. But you know one thing you do see when you roll over, you see that neither Windrah nor Filialis is in their bed. However, in the candlelight you see the shadow of a form that can only be Windrah, from what you know inside the room. Size, build, the hood that is at the peaked out element of the hood.
Okay. I think that's my action, really.
Yep. So that's where
I'm happy to have another one, but I think that's really an action
Yeah.
once you've woken.
No, that's fine. So Damian, you're smelling this sort of water, the smell of the sea, there's the estuarine breeze, but it's out of place because the tent was sealed last night.
I'm going to. Do I see can I sense the tension?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. You can try and read the room. All right. I'm going to let you pick a skill between perception or your medicine skill.
Oh, medicine.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. There's a vibe here. There is generally a vibe.
Alright. I'm gonna put my pants on.
Okay, so you sort of like, you sit up, there's something going on. So you sort of get up. You just sit up. You haven't even opened your eyes yet. You're fumbling around for your slack.
I can't have people seeing my tidy whities.
Yeah. Now, again,
That is priority one.
is Damian a neat sleeper? Is he someone who just goes and, drops into bed with everything, or everything gets put to the side and neatly folded?
I've been thinking about it. If he was on his own, no, but because he's with other people, yes.
It's sort of socially acquired neurosis. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you're grabbing your folded dungarees and fighting them on, everything like that. It is hard because every night you watch Windrah pack up, and because Windrah goes through the ritual of making sure there's no metal anywhere near her when she sleeps. Because you can't, you don't do that in the Stormblade. You don't sleep with a chance you're going to become a lightning rod. So you sort of like push stuff out the way. All right. So with that, I'm going to say that the Damian sort of sitting bolt upright with his eyes closed and then fumbling around for his pants will be enough for Squadge to realise that you're going into some kind of alert process. Now, how does Squadge sleep?
Oh, completely paranoid with his next to a dagger. Oh, thank you, my friend.
All good.
Oh, very
Hello.
good.
How are you, mate?
Hello.
12 Barry Street, Hamley Bridge, mate.
Yeah. Sorry, I am going to have to indulge in dinner, but no, Squadge is quite paranoid when he sleeps. So he sleeps definitely with at least the Relp blade as close as possible.
Yeah, of course.
And if not, a comb in his hair as well, Matt.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. My own mental image of Squadge would be someone that you'd struggle to get him out of his clothes. Like you.
Yeah, no. He'll unbutton maybe a couple of buttons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at best, if it's hot weather, he'll take off the top of his leather armor.
Yeah.
And he'll sleep under that before, and that's his sheet.
Yeah.
And the blanket goes over the top of that.
Yeah. You guys have known that over the years, particularly if you're near a wharf, a lake, or you're on a boat, and particularly there's been a battle or some sort of issue of some kind, Gazanolt he was very, very adroit, but he'd always get clumsy when you're near water and accidentally knock Squadge into the lake or into the sea. It's just the only person who doesn't realise it was happening was Squadge. All right. So you've all sort of gathered up. You're in. Now, what I'm going to say is, Windrah, you're basically fully attired, which is great. Thank you. That's a really good description of how your characters would do that. Filialis, as we know, no boots, just basically the hands just ready on the other side. Squadge is basically fully prepared. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say that Damian, based on how he behaves around the rest of the night when it comes time to camp, give me an acrobatics roll to see how quickly you're rolling into things and getting your gear on and getting your gear together. Brilliant. Did really, really well.
Well-oiled machine.
Yeah, that's right. You had everything organised, right? You had that all sort of, you're in there and you're virtually in your full gear. All right. While this is going on, the second to last toggle is released quietly. As what you notice, Filialis, is the flap falls away. So it's sort of falling away from you, but outwards. So you're at the point where the person can see the least as they undo it. Like the hinge of the tent flap is like a door, and that's sort of where it's still part of the wall of the tent is at your side. But you see, as you goes past, the wind blows it out for a little bit, and one thing catches your eye straight away. There's the remnants of like the isle sets up like small bonfires around Bedroll Isle to generate a bit of light and an opportunity if you're doing your own cooking and things like that. But you notice that there is a lantern is held probably, you'd say, 40, 50 feet back from your own point on the far side of the bonfire. So it was a little bit difficult to make it out. But you could definitely see it was being held by somebody who was wearing some kind of leather cloak or perhaps armor. But I'll get you to make a perception roll about what you can see. Now, Windrah was moving back. The other two guys were sort of last up to the plate. So, Windrah, you also make a perception roll for me. Okay, so Filialis, you got the 11. Yep, Windrah. And it probably makes sense that it's Windrah that picks it. When you look, the person who's struggling to get these toggles open them and trying to do it quietly, it has a hood and is looking back towards that lantern light, isn't focusing on what they're doing. And as he does that, his cloak, the hood falls back and you make out the features of Checkpenny. Now, what I will say, Filialis, you have, whilst you couldn't make out you saw the person there, right, and their hood fall back, you have not identified him as Checkpenny, but you can see in that vague candlelight that Windrah has some level of recognition as to who this person is.
And I state that I am holding my action in case an arm starts to come in.
Yeah, certainly.
I'm grabbing that. I'm grabbing the second something comes in. I'm grabbing.
Yeah. So you're just preparing yourself. You see at that moment, you see Checkpenny looks back from this lantern light that is behind that dying bonfire, and looks back in, and then you see that he's finally paying. His eyes sort of focuses from the light coming into you from the bonfire, your own candle, and looks up and he sees you, Windrah, standing there, and he quickly goes, "Hey, miss," and he pulls out the stone you gave him. He goes,
Oh.
"I'll come to help you."
I shall usher him in.
Okay. You step back, Windrah, and you signal for him to come in quickly. The flap, Filialis, is still blowing out. The breeze is sort of coming in from the side. So you could pull the flap back if you wanted to, or you can just leave it undisturbed and maintain your position.
I think So, at the moment, can I sort of see out of it at all, or
You can, but your visual field keeps being disrupted by the flap coming back, and then blowing back out and coming back.
I think I'm fine with that. I'm just gonna sort of see if I can keep a general eye on the other figure.
Yep. Now, you would probably reliably be able to do it if you crossed the threshold and went across the portal and went to the other side of the tent flap. You'd probably have a better visual field there, or at least sporadic views of more. At the moment, when it's opening, you're getting like about a 90-degree arc.
Yeah.
To the left of the tent opening.
Okay.
So that what you saw, that lantern, you just saw because of quite a strong breeze, a stronger gust, open the tent flap further.
Okay, I'll move to the other side then.
Okay. So as Checkpenny steps through the threshold, he steps over that sort of wicker base they make everything with. And then as he steps through, he doesn't even know you're there. You move across, like duck down and move across to the other side of the portal. As you go across, you look back, that lantern plus the bonfire is still obscuring your vision through to that point. But you look across to the sort of the left of the tent flap, and you see movement among some of the other smaller tents over the side. That you have no idea who. It could be, patrons getting ready to leave early, getting on the journey. You don't know. But it seems too quiet for the movement you saw. But anyway, you go back against the other side and you're just sort of watching there. Damian, the first thing you notice when Check Penny comes in and sort of kneels down on the ground next to Windrah is that he is bleeding quite profusely from his right temple.
Ooh.
I will quickly just kind of grab some spare gauze I got lying around somewhere and see if I can just
Yeah.
clean it up a bit, and then if I get a chance, I'll give a little look as well.
Yeah, no, of course. So you go around to the side and pull back. The hood has fallen back, and you're looking at his head. There's like a reddening area and a contusion coming up. It's like it's been hit with something like a club of some kind. You can make a medicine roll for me as you start like examining and taking steps to try and address it. Yeah, brilliant. So basically you just start cleaning it away with the gauze, make an assessment of it. He's lucky to be conscious.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can I get any more? Can I glean any more information at the kind of what made the impact, or?
It's definitely club-like. It's a blunt object, but the sort of contusion base has like an indentation, which seems quite semicircular and symmetrical. So you would argue it might have been like the end of a shafted weapon of some kind, like the butt of a spear or the hilt of a sword.
Yeah, as if someone's tried to knock him out.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll just address that for the time being and see what he has to say.
And you see, he looks at it and he's holding the stone you gave him, and he goes, "No, I come to tell you, you were gone much longer than I thought. I was doing what you asked. I'm trying to keep an eye on your things and your interests. Yeah, there was some old fella went into your tent. I didn't see him myself, but I asked some of the fellas that I know who work around here, food vendors, things. They said the old fella was in your tent. They just assumed it was his tent. They didn't know who it was, but he wasn't with your party." He goes, and I was going back. I thought I'd go back to the office. I get into trouble. I'm meant to be doing my real job, And he said, I went back and I got grabbed by some of these fellas who they've got that black and gold horn thing on their tent, and they dragged me in and they were asking me questions about you, where you're from and everything, and I didn't know. I said, I don't know where they're from. They're travellers. And he said, but they've been very kind to me. And then he said, and I've been trying to help them out with their interests. And they said, where have you gone? And I didn't want to tell them. And then they started hitting me with he said one of them had this like leather thing with a wooden handle, and he hit me in the head with it until I started tying. I said I couldn't help it. I said you went over to the old ruins. You was looking for treasure like most folk do when they come here. They want to know how long and where you'd been, and then I said, well, then I was getting angry, and I said, oh, you should know yourself. You sent some bastard in there to steal their gear, and then they didn't know about that fellow who'd been in your tent. They had no idea, and so he belted me again, and I don't know how long I was there, dazed, and then I thought they're gonna kill me, and then I don't know how long I was there, but I come to, and I thought, I've got to come and help you, you know. And when I got here, your tent was all done up and looked like it was, you know, earlier. And he said, but then when I was coming through, I thought I'd better lie low because of these fellas with the, you know, the horn things. He said, no, I come through, and he said, there's this other group of blokes coming through, and I know them. They're beaters. They're mercenaries. They do work for people around here. And he said, and they've been watching your tent. And he said, oh, he goes over there. He said, do you see that lantern there? And he says, that's Gozzik. He's one of the watchmen for the proprietor, you know. But he's as crooked as a dog's hind leg, and I think half the stuff that gets stolen here is because of him. And Gozzik's told, I heard him telling the leader of these beaters where you was. They're looking for you. They're coming to get you to give you a hiding. He says they don't look like much, but they's tough men. They've been doing this for a long time. I'm sorry I let you down, miss.
Is he wearing any jewellery on his hands?
Oh, no, he's a basic, you know, like the only real wealth he's probably gets is just wages and tips when he's doing his side jobs, you know, when he's not working at the gate.
Alright. Then Windrah will grab his hand and kind of like, you know, pat it a bit, trying to soothingly and understandingly.
Yeah, making carefully, avoiding any contact with anything that could cause a problem for you.
Yes.
And he looks there, and what I'll say, Damian, can you make another medicine roll for me, because you see that he's starting to crash again. Okay, you know enough with that medicine roll. If you're going to stabilise him, it's going to take time, and you now are of the view, based on what you were seeing before, you think he has a skull fracture. You're starting to see blackening under both of his eyes rather than just one. With the information from your previous assessment and what you know now and what you've seen and felt, without more advanced focused treatment, you think he'll probably be dead within the next 5 to 10 minutes.
All right.
Yep.
I'd like to grab the orb that I have,
Get your
like the healing orb.
kit. Yep. Sure.
And use that on him. So the 1d4 healing touch.
Yep. Okay. Go right ahead. All right. So with that sort of charge, as Filialis is gathering up the last of her stuff, and then walks over and just sort of passes that in, more like an action of gratitude. That bit of magical energy goes through Damian, and you look and you can see some of the repair, but it's still potentially life-threatening. But it's perhaps bought you a little bit more time. All right. At that stage, you, while you've come back, Filialis, you sort of stepped away from the entranceway. Squadge, make a perception roll for me, because all the rest of your party is sort of engaged in what's going on. All right. So you've sort of crept forward a bit. You can now make out that there is a figure wearing a cloak who seems to be wearing a helmet, perhaps a leather sort of pot helmet. A bearded fellow, stocky, not overly tall, but clearly a leader, is moving along talking to a thin, more tall man with like a leather sort of jack on, but wearing a steel helmet of some kind, who's carrying a lantern. The figure with the steel helmet has a stave that he is walking along with, whereas the other armed guy is carrying quite a large long sword that almost borders on like more of a larger bastard or two-handed sword. He's moving along to the side, and you can clearly see behind him, to the right of him, you can see spearheads from other figures in the darkness, just on the fringes of the light that's available.
And the distance?
About 50 feet, you probably say, or about that. Difficult to tell because of the lantern and the remnants of the bonfire are making it hard to assess distance because of the shadows. Your focus has been on that point where you've seen them to the right. Your hearing is telling you there's potentially more to the left, but nothing you've visually seen.
And on the map where our symbol is, that's effectively the center of that is where our tent is.
Yeah, roughly. You're sort of probably about to the north of you is probably about 60 feet of mangrovey sort of low-lying places, which a lot of that disappeared when the tide was high. So when we're at high tide, there's probably only about 10 feet between the back end of your tent and the water, right? You're basically almost at the topmost point of the narrowing off of these rented tent area.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We're sort of trapped, is where I was going.
Yeah.
With what's coming in.
Yeah.
And do we recall there being any punts available or any water taxis available on the? I think they were along this side.
They are on the sides of the island. There were none going to the north of your position on the island, if you recall, because the only place that would go would be anywhere near the residence or the Forbidden Village.
Yeah, but where I've drawn the line is where we...
Yeah, that was where you got it last time. Yep, around there.
That's right. And along this side was where the fish market was? That's
right. That's exactly right, where the fish market was. A little bit further south, more on sort of this promontory point here.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
All right, hang on. Yeah. All right, so I think they're coming towards the tent. The light is from the bonfire is illuminating the front flap of the tent, flapping open.
Yeah, it is. It's sort of a dull light. The bonfire from you is not that far away. It's sort of about to the front left of your tent, probably about 25 feet away from you at that point, and it's giving off a light that does lightly illuminate. When you first went to sleep, when you did up the toggles, Squadge, you could see shadows through that quite easily because the fire was still a bit higher at that point, but you can see it's died right down now.
Yeah, okay. What I'd like to do is try and I'm still in my bedroll.
No, you're sort of getting up. You sort of got yourself to the point where you're sort of sitting there and you sort of crawled over a little bit to the side. You still don't have your... you sleep in virtually everything. The only thing you don't really have in your hand is sort of like your pack.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking the packs might have to stay. So I'm gonna grab the bottom flap of the tent at one edge, like where it's secured to the station or the wall.
Yep.
And I'm just going to slowly slide my hand along the bottom to pull in the tent at the bottom.
Yep.
And then try and tie the toggles from the other side, leaving enough room that I can see at least standing high, about 5 foot, that there's an opening.
You can look out like
and an opening big enough to throw something through.
Right. Fair enough. All right. So you're creating like your own little arrow slot. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. In a very flimsy wall.
All right. So that's what you're doing. You've gone through, you've scoped it out, and while everybody else is sort of like helping Check Penny go more to the back of the tent and sort of getting him down onto the ground and looking at him, and Filialis helping him out. You've quickly done up a few of these toggles again, and you've left yourself with like this vantage point. When
I'd like to be saying, we've got to go.
yeah, okay,
Slice the back of the tent. We've got to go.
okay. So you start pulling that up. All right. So what I will say is, who wants to do that? Who is?
I mean, the only sharp thing I have is a javelin, so that would be that fun.
Okay. All right. So you're grabbing your kit. So Filialis, you just stab the javelin through the back of this stuff, and you just gradually start pulling it towards the down to the ground. So you put in like about a 3-foot cut near the bottom of the tent, just where it goes down to that wicker flotation stuff. They fit to everything at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yep.
Windrah will ask Damian if he's able to stabilize Check Penny if we bring him along.
I certainly, yeah, I could. Yeah, I could. I reckon he's well enough for the time being, but I can, yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. So as you do that, you're having that conversation. You're doing the cut. Windrah, you're speaking to Damian about stabilizing Check Penny. He's becoming increasingly disorientated. He can bear his own weight with support, but he's losing sense of direction and things like that, becoming quite delirious. Squadge, as you're looking out at the front of the tent, you see a figure appear beside the firelight that you can see quite clearly. Is definitely like a padded sort of protective sort of jerkin guy with a fundamental like wood and iron helmet and a spear, a bit thuggery, and is definitely carrying like a waddy in his belt, you know, for getting stuck into people. Quite solid figure as he's moving forward, and definitely you can see on the other side of the bonfire, to the left hand side as you're looking, another one is appearing around that side of the fire. They're now in the vicinity of probably 20 feet from the front of the tent.
What? How far are they from the bonfire?
One you would say is within 5 to 10 feet. The other probably slightly further out.
And which one's the? Yeah, okay. Oh, I wish I'd paid more attention during people casting spells. All right. I think what I'm going to do is prepare to throw a bottle of oil.
Yep. Yep. All right. So
Oil.
You're going to do that. All right. Now
I'm going to prepare to throw it, but I'm going to make sure people are getting out.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. So look.
Are we?
Yeah.
Sorry. I was just going to ask, are we doing this stealthily or are we just getting out?
Just getting out. I don't think there's any stealth when I throw the oil and burn people. You've seen me do this before. You've seen the panic in my eyes, and you know it's going to go pear-shaped pretty quick.
Right. So I'm going to take you over to the other map. Right. So you are in the position there. So Filialis, you step back as Damian is picking up Check Penny with enhanced ability just to build strength to help move forward. And the hole you've cut is sort of torn open slightly as, you know, Damian gets in there and starts lifting Check Penny ready to go through the back of the tent. Squadge, you can see there from your position, you know, on the far side of the candle, where the the actual two figures you can see, and vaguely to the back, you can see what I
Where's the
suspect.
opening in the tent, Matt? Is it roughly here, or?
Yeah, roughly. So I'm going to say that's your visual advantage, but yeah, the actual gap is roughly only like that, probably about 18 inches wide.
Okay.
So I'm going to say that you do have the ability to target these two figures if you choose to. If you choose to target this figure, I'm going to say that he would still technically have partial cover because of the light from the bonfire, blurring your vision a bit. All right?
And which one's the tanky dude that's been bashing our mate?
He is further back, and he's up here. But he definitely has almost full cover now because he's like near you can see he's signalling the other men forward, and he's gone right against the edge of another tent. So I'm just going to get a turn order up, and I'll get you to roll initiative.
Woo.
Ooh, stinky initiative. All right. Has everybody rolled initiative?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the figures in outside of your tent. All right. So you see the first squadge of these guards starts moving and can see the hole in the tent. So, and he comes right up against it. So, oh God, I'm moving the initiative, not him. Why is that happening? Okay.
I thought I had a 19. Oh, I do, but I'm last. I go get it.
I'm sorry? Oh, it hasn't sorted properly. Oh, sorry, mate. So you would go first. My apologies. I only saw him up there at the top. Go ahead.
We may want him back where he was, yeah.
Yeah. That's right. So he's back where he was. Go ahead.
So I am going to launch a bottle of oil at said guard over here.
Mm-hmm. Could you ping him
Now,
for
I
me
imagine
again,
that's just a... Is that a dex action? To
throwing
throw
it? No, it's actually an athletics action to throw something.
Really? Athletics?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's okay. It might land near the fire.
Okay, go ahead. Oh dear.
No fumble. No fumble.
All right.
Do you want me to roll anything for distance that's
Yeah, look, what I'm going to suggest...
obviously short?
Yeah, look, it'll be a 30-foot range, but what I'm going to say is roll a D4 for me.
D4.
Yeah. 1. Okay, you throw it out the slot, and it sort of goes as sideways as it can through the slot, right?
Mm.
So, sorry, let me get that out the way. I'm just going to sort of go 5, not that sideways. 10, 20, 30, 50.
Oh.
It hits him. You actually hit the guard, but you miss the fire.
Huh?
So it goes over the top and sort of like hits like near it hits sort of like mid thigh. and you hear the cracking of the light wooden vial, like which is sort of like almost like a light bamboo, and it cracks, and you feel it sort of coat him, and it sort of starts dropping down to the ground. Now, what I'm going to get you to do is roll 1d8 for me to see the gradient of where the oil splashes out to.
Ah,
1. So it sort of goes up this way
yeah.
and lands on the ground there. All right, are you moving?
Well, Matt,
Yes.
as my bonus action,
Yes.
I shall use my fast hands and throw another bottle of oil.
Okay, go right ahead. Give us another crack.
And I'm out of oil now, right? I'm just letting you know.
Yep.
And again, I'm going to target sort of the between the fire and him,
Yep. Go right ahead.
or I'm targeting him to get to the fire, to set the oil and the other oil on fire.
Yep.
I'm trying to create a spectacle.
Okay, go right ahead.
Athletics, here we go.
Yep. Oh, much better. Much better. All right, so let me have a look. His AC is 11, and I'm going to say that's your strike 12. You've sort of hit the fire adjacent to him. The oil spatters up, and you just see this, it just ignites from the fire, and there's a large puddle to the north of him. So this area here, here ignites in sort of a flame as well. And he ignites as well. So give me 1d10. Six. Okay, so... Sorry?
I'm talking to the dog, sorry. The dog's asking me to go to the toilet.
So... well, the guard definitely feels like he wants to go to the toilet now.
Yes.
So he lights up, and because it's already on his clothes, it ignites onto his clothes, and he just sort of starts to panic, with this heat as his actual clothes have started to catch on fire. All right, any movement?
I am going to hold my position.
Yep.
Until everyone else is sort of out.
Yep. Okay. All right. So I will move. So the actual guard, the next guard there, that flame comes over, and he looks over at the flame, and he quickly looks back and he goes, "What are your orders?" And he goes, "We already paid him, give him a hiding and get him in. If they're going to do that, bugger it, kill him." All right. So he comes charging forward. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And gets to that point, and as he comes through, I'm just going to... let me think.
Has he got to undo the toggles? Or is he cutting through?
No. He comes in. I'm just going to give him a base perception roll. What's your AC? Your normal AC, Squadge?
15.
15. All right. So what I'm going to say, 12, is that as he comes up, he was going to just stab in with the spear, with the extra reach, like of the spear itself. And as he goes in, he doesn't quite work out where you are, but you can see he sees ahead, and he can see the rest of the party up ahead, and the hole at the back of the tent. So as he does that, it's sort of like he holds on his action and turns around and goes, "They're going out the back." Now, keep in mind, you had a candle going in there the whole time. So the interior of the tent has got a reasonable amount of light in it. Right?
Yeah. And shadows.
Yeah. All right. You hear to the side from you guys, you can hear like 5, 10, another boots coming running down. And so where you are, Damian, you've sort of picked up. You're in the process of picking up. With the enhance ability, I'm not going to get you to make a roll. He's not very big. He's quite skinny. You sort of get him up onto your shoulder reasonably well. So you're preparing to move, but you can clearly hear as you do that, and you perch him on the shoulder, and he stops groaning for a second. Boots running around to the right of you from the side. All right, Filialis. You see Damian sort of get into this position, and then look over, check Penny, and in the direction to the right.
Okay, so just to clarify, the opening is sort of like here.
It's basically where you are. It's sort of now it's a bit more torn because Check Penny's legs have been lifted up a little bit, so you can basically get straight through.
All right, I'll do that.
Yep.
So I'll just sort of
move,
I guess.
All right, so you're moving to intercept that figure?
Yeah,
Yep.
And then that guard that's sort of in front of me there, I'm going to throw the javelin I used to open the...
Yep.
Because he would be backlit on our tent as well.
Okay. All right, so you throw that javelin towards him. As you strike it through, it's sort of 11. In this case, that your javelin does miss.
Yeah.
Yep. So you throw it, and he sort of sees it coming and brings his own spear up and sort of knocks it as it's flying past. You see your javelin goes flying off to the side, out of your visual range. You're not sure where it's gone. Yep. Okay. Any other movement or action? Bonus.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm going to just sort of duck behind.
Yeah, get behind that rock. Yeah, absolutely. All right. All right, so... All right, you can hear this voice, Squadge, like you're dodging this spear, but you can hear this voice going, I ain't getting paid enough for this. And then you hear boots running in a different direction. Right, the leader, 10, 20, 25, 30. He keeps moving down to this side. Squad, you catch a glimpse of him, as I said, stocky, average height. Clearly, one thing you do glimpse, cuts on his hands. So he's obviously seen quite a bit of combat. He walks past the one at the front. He says, "Get in that fucking tent and kill that bastard." And he yells out. He goes, "The rest of you, come on." All right. So he moves forward. The next of the guards, who is burning, is going to try and use dexterity to try and get some of these flames out that are burning, but has failed dismally on his action. So roll another d10 for me. Okay, you see he collapses, he succumbs to the pain, and he falls into the pool of oil behind him, which ignites, and you just see that he is going to burn up. What's happened there?
What kisses?
Yeah.
It's a...
Okay, so he falls to that point, and he's gone. Okay. All right.
Good.
Damian, you have Check Penny on your shoulder.
I want to step out
Mm-hmm.
enough to where I can see like the surrounding area, and I want to look for kind of like like a safe place to stash check petty.
Okay. Let's see what you can see. So over to your right, your left, as you step out of the tent, you can see there's a quite saltbush shrubs are just here. There are more over there, but you're aware that there's an enemy over on this side. The only place you can see in front of you is the saltbush on either side, or there is more path which would lead down, but when you look back, the tide is at a point where if you come towards the end of this map, about 10 feet, about maybe 10 feet beyond the visual range where Filialis is, you're hitting the water.
Okay.
All right, so what's your action?
Fuck. I'm going to get us down here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming my movement is not impeded.
With enhanced ability, I'm going to say, and he's so light, your first movement, your constitution, you carry him to that point without a problem. But from now on, because you're getting into wetter ground as well, your movement would be halved.
Yep. So yeah, I'm just gonna take him out to that point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hold
Mm-hmm.
a sacred flame.
Yep.
If any of the guards or whatnot start attacking my fellow not members,
Mm-hmm.
I will use sacred flame on the closest one.
Okay. All right. So you're ready to go. So are you putting
Yep.
Check Penny down, or you're keeping Check Penny on your shoulder?
No, because I've got one arm with him.
Yep.
One hand free.
Yep.
Um,
Okay.
I want to see what we're doing. I don't know if we're going to run yet or if we're going to stay and fight.
Yeah, of course. All right. No
So
worries.
I'm still holding on to him.
Okay, with your held action. Right,
Yep.
this guard here, seeing their companion go down, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, has run to this tent, and you can see that is pulling back, Damian, with your held action, is pulling back to throw a spear towards Filialis. From his angle, Filialis has no cover aspect from the rock. So can you visually see him okay? Yep, you can. Go ahead. It's okay. Let me get his dex up.
Oh,
He fumbled his save. He almost ran straight into the flame, right, as he's doing it. So basically, he stumbles as the sacred flame strikes. So what have we got there? We've got 1 radiant. So 2 of them came up. The first one was 1 radiant damage.
Oh, I thought it didn't roll. Whoopsies.
That's okay.
I thought it didn't roll damage, so I rolled it separately.
Oh,
well.
okay, no worries. All right, no, I'm happy with that. We're going to take the 8. So he
So
falls.
I genuinely
No, that's absolutely fine. And sometimes too, the delay on it is a problem. You think you're rolling. I mean, poor Ben was doing that a little while ago. Rolled 3 times for the same thing to turn up. So as you do that, you see that the sacred flame explodes on him as he falls down. Because of the stunned effect, as he starts fumbling from his own action, right? Trying to avoid it, the stunned effect would come in. So let me just remind myself about the benefits of stun.
It says for 1d4 rounds. So I rolled a d4.
Ah, there we go. So we know how long he's stunned for. Alright. So, being stunned. Eventually it'll come up. Incapacitated, can't move, can't see, automatically fails strength and dex save. Attack rolls against him have advantage anyway, so any further attack will be hitting him without a shadow of a doubt. But he is injured. The next guard here, because of the flame going into this tent, has to step around. So where are we? 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. All he's doing is running down with no opportunity to attack. He's just trying to catch up with the contest. Windrah.
Can I get a weather check?
Of course you can. Go right ahead. You got your chart in front of you?
I do.
Yep. Okay. Can you... Oh, that's right. You can't pop it up for me too. Can't remember. Did you have the conditions on it? I can't remember what I put on it there.
I've just got like the
advantages.
D20 roll.
Yep.
Yeah, the advantage numbers like +0 or...
Yeah. Give us the D20 roll.
And what weather condition is it?
Today...
Not going to be good unless it's stormy.
Yeah. All right, let's have a roll. The higher the roll on a D20, the more problematic it's going to be. 18. It is bordering on a storm. What is the level below storm? Can't remember.
Rain.
Yeah, so basically you're in the rain condition, but it's quite heavy. And the only reason it's not heavy here and it's only starting to drip down is because of the wharf above you.
Okay, and with a roll of 4,
Yeah.
if it's not yet stormy, I don't have any
Advantage.
pluses.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No worries. What I will let you do is, as this session progresses, we'll have another roll, see how that goes. All right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so what's your action?
Alrighty. That is a good question, and we are figuring it out. That one's cube, 10 feet. That's not gonna work. I think Windrah's just gonna wait. Do we have the bag of holding? That's probably the important thing. Do we have the bag of holding? Can I see it still in the tent?
All right.
Sorry?
Sorry.
Isn't it Filialis?
It should be Filialis, but we were just asleep, and Filialis grabbed nothing, not even their boots.
Oh, I didn't know. I was just trying to think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did
Well,
grab like my
I thought
javelins and
Yeah, your
stuff.
kit. Yeah,
Yeah.
you did in the end, didn't you?
Okay, cool.
So, as well as
No.
that too, when you took the chest with the gold from the bent cur, it did go into the bag of holding, if you remember. You decided not to
Yeah.
divide it, just put it in there for now. Yeah. All right.
Alright, so then what I will do with my turn, since we do have that, I will... Oops.
Yep. You're going to guiding bolt the guy through the hole in the front of the tent.
Yeah, the guy in the hole and with
Brilliant.
guiding bolt. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, let me just get...
Nice shot.
Yeah,
Thanks.
beautiful. So yeah, basically you just blast that guy as it comes through and smash him back. What was it? It was Radiant High Level Cast, 4 points for another 7, 11 points of damage. You just watch Squadge at close range. You get sprayed with the blood from this radiant force that just smashes out, right? From this and just sends his body back 5 feet, just smashes him back as his face just disintegrates under the wave of this force. You watch as the nasal piece just bends backwards and buries itself into his eye as the energy jams it back. And he goes flying back.
Completely unfazed, Windrah leaves the tent.
Brilliant. All right. So he is gone. So, yep, if you don't mind your movement. Yep. So you go out there beside your companion who's sort of like trying to get in behind this rock. Right, Squadge.
Okay. I would like to... My pack's obviously ready to go. This is the kind of paranoid action that we have. I'd like to pick my pack as my... Move to my pack, pick my pack.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy to waste, 10 feet of movement.
Mm-hmm.
And then... Is the pick up an action? I imagine it is, isn't it?
To grab items, yeah.
Yeah. So 5,
Sorry,
10...
I just shuffled me back a little bit further because I checked how much movement I had. Sorry.
Okay.
So if I move 5, I pick up, I move back 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Mm-hmm.
Take the dash cunning action.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I see the guards now. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Okay. So you're heading that way?
Yeah, I'm heading that way, but I'm trying to make it so that I'm looking for a passage for our people.
Now, I can let you make a perception roll at disadvantage at the moment.
Perception roll disadvantage?
Yeah, while you're trying to look through.
Oh,
all right. Good. So as you look forward, you look up, Squadge, and one thing that you do see is up through this direction here, but probably more sort of up around here, right? You see that there is a punt is coming in. Like this guy looks like he's starting his day, and you can see about 80, 90 feet that way is a few stone steps that go down to a punt point.
Oh, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I don't have time to yell that out, do I?
No, but you've seen it. You're ready and you've seen it. Yep.
Perfect.
All right, that guard is gone. This guard, the one who was threatening with his weapon, he will come 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and he will lunge in at you, Filialis. He's carrying, he just grabbed both hands, he just like bends down, like stabs down at you with this spear. For 14 to hit, does that hit you?
That does.
Okay, so 5 points of piercing damage. You feel this sort of like blade go into sort of your hip and cut along the side of your hip. Okay. All right, Filialis. Your action. This guy, you just step back from this cut.
Well, I think getting stabbed by a spear would make me a bit angry.
Yeah.
So I'm going to activate my...
Yeah, the smell of the blood.
7 Despawn Rage.
Yep. So as this guy's like, as the cut comes down, Filialis, you see that he looks down at you and your hood falls back from your sort of diminutive sort of female form. And at that point, that sort of flash of the pupils of your eyes changing, and you see this look on his face like he sees it as the blade, as the edge of his spear blade is committed against your hip. All right, go ahead. 4 rounds.
So-
Wow, you're jacked. Yep.
And then I'm gonna I'm gonna unarmed strike him.
Yep. Go ahead.
Does a 21 hit?
Oh, most definitely. 2 points. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wait. I get a +2 bonus to damage.
Yep. Okay, so another 2. Yep.
And then I'm going to flurry of blows it
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Go right ahead.
to do it twice.
Okay. Unfortunately, the first misses, second hits. For another 5 points. Right.
That and add
And
2 to
2.
that.
Okay. So you swing. Filialis. How do you kill him?
Well, I think seeing as they stabbed me,
Yeah.
I think it's only fair that
Do you say that? what?
Well,
What? Like you're frothing at the mouth in a rage, going, "This is only fair."
and I think I'm gonna go for the eyes
Ah.
and just thumb in eyes it.
Thumb eye out. Okay, so you do that. You press in, and if put it, and then a bit of the way through, you're so enraged, you just want to double check. Can he see what you're doing? Like, so you open them up again. In you go again. And yeah, it's enough. Like, he's alive for a little while. You do enough damage that it's sort of like for a minute that you realise you're holding him up as he's dying, and you think, so like you won't let him go down just for that second to know that you're holding him up while he's dying, and then pull your fingers out. Like, I'm sorry. You, Damian, you're sitting there looking out your medicinal stuff. You walk up and you watch this guy fall away with these 2 bleeding cavities, and you watch because Filialis's hands are so small, like her hands drop to her side immediately because even though she's raging, just that instinctive thing to cover the wound on her hip, and you can see there's definitely an eyeball with like the nerve and the stuff like around her thumb because her thumb's quite small and it's jammed on there like a ring. As that falls down. All right, so he is gone. Right, just trying to think. Can anybody? No. All I'm going to say, make a perception roll for me, Squadge, please. The rest of you wouldn't be in a position to do it because you're focusing on the de-eyeing. Okay, Squadge. You watch the guard, that watchman. You watch that watchman disappear to the path, like the path that runs down between the tents, and he's heading obviously back towards like the fortified sort of wooden building down the front where you first arrived and organised your rental. Okay. So he is gone. Now, I will say to you, the one thing that does stick in your mind, in case you haven't noted it, you recall as he's running off and getting away, Squadge, that his name was Gazik.
Gazik.
That's what Check Penny called him. All right. So he is gone. The leader. 5, 10, 30 will come to this point. No, actually, he's going to stay there next to the other guard. And he gets to this point and he calls out, "You better surrender if you want to live." All right. Okay, that guard is gone. And we're back to Damian.
Can I, using my bonus,
Mm-hmm.
am I able to notice that Squadge has, like, found a path?
No, but what you could see that he was zigzagging and sort of like looking around between things. But also, Damien, it's not unusual for Squadge to be looking for an escape route. It's his usual method of operation.
Let's see, what's that range on that one? No, 62. Alright. Look, looks like we're attacking. I kind of I just like being in the middle of everyone in general.
Yep.
So I have reached everyone, so I'm just going to bring Chipping with me.
Yep.
And
Sure.
the guard I damaged last time, he's not down yet, is he?
No, but he's lying on the ground. Can't do anything. Just dazed.
Yeah. Either of the two over here damaged at all?
Not that you can see. You can make a medicine roll if you like to get an exact check.
No. It's not that big a deal.
No.
What does that do? Okay, alright. I'm going to, against the leader, I'm going to cast Guarding Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
If that takes a gajillion years to come through.
Yep.
It is a... Oh, I have to make a spell attack.
Yep.
I don't know if we'll make...
It should
Well,
come up
though.
automatically if you've got it in your weapon list. There we go.
I have to... it hasn't come up with the save. I will just roll it.
Yep. No problem.
It's just D20 plus 7.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Oh dear. So you've
that
gone to blast.
11.
Yeah? 11. Who was your target again?
The leader.
No, unfortunately that did miss. So unfortunately you sort of like shot wide over the top. Sort of blasts away in the other direction.
Chick Benny moved while I was aiming.
Yeah, no, he came with you. Yeah, he came with you. Okay. All right, I'll have a look at your sheet after the game, Damien, and work out why your Guiding Bolt isn't turning up in your weapons list. Or if you
That's
have
probably
one.
because I've done it myself, and because
Okay.
I've just got all my I've only got the cantrips in there, so.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so that's it. No bonus action. Nothing else.
I was theoretically using my bonus action to see what
Yeah, no
It's-
worries.
try and make out what Squadge saw, but yeah.
All right, the stun guard will take no action. The guard here will move forward 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and will join the attack on Filialis. 15 to hit for 4 piercing.
That does. Oh.
You're raging now, aren't you? So you're halving your damage. Yep.
Yeah. So that would just be 2.
2 points. Yep. Okay, so he comes in and stabs at you with the spear as well, like, "Oh, you bastard!" Like for killing one of his mates. So he's going in to not only kill him, but like basically torture him to death. And he'll move on. Windrah.
All right. I'm going to.
Yep.
Oh, I don't like anything.
Yeah.
I keep changing my mind.
Okay.
Gonna aim for head honcho Gozik, Grozik guy, with my vine sling.
Yep.
If I have
sure.
something in my pockets, I can sling at him.
Yes, you do. You have the stone you gave Check Penny.
The Eye of the Isle,
Yeah.
which jokes on him. It was just a rock.
Yeah.
We're vine slinging the Eye of the Isle.
Okay. Unfortunately, that does not hit.
Wonderful.
It goes wide, and you watch it. The stone of the isle just goes flying over into the darkness, into the tents. A treasure for perhaps someone else to find at another time.
Wonderful.
As it goes flying away. Any movement?
Yeah, I think I'll move closer to Damian.
Okay. As you do that, you sort of
Maybe just
step
over there.
around a little bit, because just as you start getting close, Check Penny convulses and vomits. Down. Make a dexterity saving throw for me, please, Damian, as an impulse response. Just you curve your entire spine so none of the puke gets onto your back. As you're doing it, hits the ground behind you, and Windrah, as she comes running up, slides to a halt to stay out of the radius as well. All right. Okay, I'm just going to get this reorganised. Right, Squadge.
Can I still see Garrick?
You basically, yes, you can, but only because he's carrying a lantern and he's running.
Is he within 120 feet?
Let me see. What range have you got there? 100. Yes, because he hasn't moved yet. So yes, he is just within that range.
I am going to grab the hand axe of sending.
Yeah.
And
yes.
yeah. And I am going to point to him.
Yes.
And I'm going to send a message.
Yeah.
Because I don't have it in the spell list, but
No, that's
message.
fine. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So you've got 25 words. Including 25 technically. Yeah. What is it? 25
target
words.
is the
So many
message.
characters. Anyway.
Yeah. I won't need 25.
Right.
And I'm going to use it as a persuasion.
Yeah.
If that's a right, Matt, I'm going to apply a skill to
Yeah,
what
of course you can. Yeah, go right ahead.
I'm not
pretty
sure.
good. Pretty good.
And I'd say, and I want to say to him, within his head,
Yeah.
Garrick, you must return to the battle.
Yeah.
Only cowards run. You don't want to be seen as a coward again.
So it's funny about the limit on it. So you said that out and in that brief link, because even though it's a strangely functioning way the hand axe of sending actually does this, and for a minute you sense his fear. At core, this man is a coward, a greedy coward, right? And you see for a minute he's peaked, in the fact of a moment's hesitation, and then he truly legs it. Absolutely, truly legs it. Now I'm going to say that the hand axe of sending is like almost vaguely cursed in the fact that when you're sending the message, right?
Cool.
You have to be like throwing the words with the axe, but not letting go of it.
Yeah.
So your messages are more like, "You are a coward."
No, I'm down with that for next time for sure.
So you throw that off, and it sort of looks like you're having a tantrum. 'Cause, your words are being sent off. All right, so that was your action. You applied a skill, so I'm going to say basically you got your move.
Okay. Now, sorry, Matt. Which way was that punt?
Sort of up here. There's like a rocky outcrop behind this tent here.
Now, do I have a bonus action, or do you reckon I've used that?
No, I think sending, going through the physical action plus the persuasion.
Okay, so I'm going to sort of scoot through to here.
Okay, so there is a figure here. There would be an opportunity attack.
Ah, right. Sorry, I was zoomed out.
Yeah. Oh no.
Okay.
I'll let you retake that. No, that's just visual field. That's fine. You would have seen him before you got there. So
Yeah.
do you
So
want
I'd
to pick
be
a different
here
route?
and see him.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Ah, well, that sucks.
You would not be able to take the path you've got. This salt bush is really dense and it's low lying. It's not like a tree canopy.
Right. So where was I? Oh, yeah. 5, 10, 15. No, I'm going to take it to here. I'm going to take the opportunity of attack and
Okay.
take it.
No worries. So you go charging past.
Yeah.
The guard will lunge at you. 7. No, he misses you. You sort of dance around, like thinking for a moment to use the hand axe of sending as a weapon to block it, but then realizing it may not actually be as strong as a real hand axe. So I pull it out the way and then dodge. You go past. So you go charging past him without actually being hit. Right. Unfortunately, though, it is his turn.
That's okay.
So he steps back in towards you again and swings the axe towards you, as the spear towards you again, for an 18 to hit this time.
Hit.
And for 3 points of piercing damage. So he sort of like nicks you with the tip of it in the back of one of your legs as you're running forward. All right. He will do that. He will cut into your leg, but will not pull back because you could probably lash back at him. He'll stay where he is. Going to say the next guard who is dead. And Garrick is gone. And so back to Filialis.
All right. New target, I guess.
More ring eyes.
Yeah. More eyes for your collection.
At risk of sounding repetitive,
Yes.
I'm going to unarmed strike.
Unfortunately, the first hit does not hit.
Then I will flurry of blows once again.
Yep. Go ahead. They both hit. So for 5 points.
5 and 3. Also 7 and 5. So
7 and 5, yep. Okay, so another 12 points. Okay. How do you kill this one?
I think we're going to go for the throat this time.
With the eyes on your thumbs?
Well, I think I'm going to sort of, forgetting that I'm in my human form, I think I'm going to bite into.
So like you're just lost. You're lost in the rage.
Yeah, I'm just going for the jugular and then just.
All right. So you sort of go in like going with your mouth. All right. What I got to say in that rage? Give me an athletics roll. Oh, not quite enough. Like you go into bite, and as he's dying throes you get back, you manage to nick him a bit with your teeth and cut a little bit, but you almost were going to go right in there on the tendon, like the ligament to sort of like tear at his neck. So as he's falling away, as you're lost in this rage, like you fall, and you like the beast rage of the honey badger comes out, and you look at one of these juicy morsels on your finger, on your thumb. Rip that off.
And I think I want to, like, after I've done that, I just want to look directly in the eyes of the next guard, just to sort of look.
Yeah, well, the other one, the only one who's in a position to see you at the moment is the leader. Now.
Yeah. So I'm going to look him dead in the eyes with, like, the blood
running down his face. All right.
Yeah.
No, brilliant. That's excellent. All right. So he looks at you. And what I'm going to say, I'm going to give him a wisdom saving throw. Whoa. I'm not going to make it high. I'm going to make it an 11 to see whether or not your action has affected his... No, he just makes it. You can see for a minute he hesitates as to whether he approaches. But he seems to be... His guards are falling all around him. He looks down and he... Let me see. What have we got here? No, he will. He gets a moment's hesitation and then he approaches. So 15, 20, 25. He steps over the form of one of his fallen comrades against you, Filialis. He will use multi-attack, and he will swing at you, carrying his blade, 20 to hit for 11 points of slashing damage, like halved the first blow.
Yeah.
And the next blow, 9. He misses you with the next blow.
Cool. So, is it rounded up or down?
I'm sorry.
Pardon? I'm just checking. Is the resistance rounded up or down? Do you know?
The resistance.
Like, do I take like?
Sorry. You're from your rage, like from the damage.
So,
Yeah.
So do I take 5 or 6?
No, I think because it's animal rage, it's going to round up. So you would take less damage in the round up. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
All right, Damian. So you watch as Filialis takes this quite solid blow from the sword and sort of bounces away. Because regardless of how strong, Filialis is quite small, so the force of those blows do knock her around. So yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. For my action, I will cast Sacred Flame.
Yep. Right, go right ahead. DC 15, saving throw.
Oh, 2 damage. Lovely.
Which he makes.
Right.
So
and then, sorry, for my bonus action, I
Healing
will
word, right?
Filialis, which is a D4 plus 5.
Yep. Go ahead.
So 7.
7 points, right? So Filialis, you feel his energy surge back, and the injury that you sustained from his blade, it just heals up.
So 7.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then I will. Okay, I'm gonna go. See if I can get over here. I
Yep.
don't want to be too far away, but I don't want Check Penny in the middle of this.
Yep. So you're dragging him away. Like the odor now is getting quite strong from the vomit. But you get to that point. All right. The stun guard still has yet one more turn of being stunned, so he will do nothing. The other guard there is dead. We're down to Windrah.
Do we still have any of the religious symbols?
The religion.
E10. Also,
Your poppies, yeah. Poppies. You look on your cloak because, as I said, you know, you're quite organised in the way you package things, but you do notice that you were so tired that your poppy is still through one of the toggle holes of your storm cloak. Yep.
Windra's going to move back and place the poppy on Check Penny,
Yeah.
and then move back the rest of her movement.
Distance. So the holy symbol.
There you go.
There we go. So he's carrying a holy symbol now. Brilliant.
Yeah, so he'll be fine. He'll be right,
He will
guys.
be fine. Yeah, brilliant. You see sort of like, you know, like Windrah, because Windrah's from the Storm Plane, it's not really her faith, but clearly, you know, this thing is meritorious. You know, this is what keeps people going. Brilliant. All right, Squadge.
Those bushes behind me, are they able to be traversed?
No. Oh, sorry. The two objects in front of you, do you mean?
Yeah, north of me.
Yeah, they're rocks. You can get between them.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, well, I would like to take the disengage action
Yep.
as my cutting action.
Yep.
Now, I didn't check it, but does disengage just means you don't get hit for that retreat? Is that right?
Yeah, fundamentally. I'll pop it up.
No, yeah. I might just make sure I'm not. Yeah.
Yep. So you take this and your movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks for the rest of the turn, but obviously you can't attack either.
Ah.
Yeah.
So I can't use my action if I'm using that as a bonus action. I can't use my action.
No. Yeah. Oh no, cunning action, which is
Yeah.
but is that evade? Isn't that in your class? Let's have a look. Yeah, the action can be only used to take the dash disengage. No, absolutely, of course you can. If that's as part of
Yeah.
your.
So I reckon I can disengage, move
Yeah.
5, 10.
Oh no,
Is
hang on.
there-
Your action can only be used, right, to take that action. But no, it wouldn't take away your bonus action.
Yeah. 20, 25, 20.
Yep.
I'd like to then. Oh. No, I'm actually going 25. I'm going to try and get to that punt.
Okay, so you've gone to that point here, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll be
Oh.
coming away from the map and you'll be running down like this little stone causeway.
Yeah.
All right?
I think I'm going to take that action.
All right. So you do
I'm
that.
happy to be on the side of it. I'm happy to be where I am if he's following me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right. So you're turning to go running down there. That basic punt, if you wanted to now, you could probably call and tell that guy with the punt that he's got a fair or let him know.
Yeah. No, I'd like to do that then. I'd like to
All
say, oh, fair.
Okay, see, he stops, he looks up and
Good
sees you
fair.
running there. All right. And you, give me a performance roll, but this is like a spontaneous, just to how you compose yourself to look like you're not running from a battle.
Yeah. What was the punt driver's name? Was it Drow Mail?
Drow Mail.
Wasn't that who was the punt driver that we had?
Yeah, let me go back. I can't remember. Oh no,
Oh,
a
Jamal?
Jawman,
Jamal.
a Jawman.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So I would like to Jawman, that's right. I do have it. Performance.
Yeah, brilliant. You sort of compose yourself, and you're just sort of strolling down this rock causeway when he sees you.
Norman says that you're the one that we need, who gives the best ride, and we would like a ride, my friend, at this fine time in the morning. I have my friends coming, and we are so eager to get on board.
Okay. And you see, he looks up, and he can't believe his luck. This time in the morning, he's just turned up with the plan to go up and see if he can spruik any business. And then suddenly this gentleman, who seems quite, in the dark light, seems quite well turned out, and suddenly wants for, and has mentioned one of his, his colleagues. So he looks at it and tips his cap, goes, course, cap, yeah, certainly. And he starts getting his punt ready. All right. The guard behind you is going to... It's going to make a perception roll to see whether or not he detects the other guys behind him, which he does. He stops chasing you, Squadge, turns around, sees Windrah and Damian carrying Checkpenny, only about 5 or so feet behind him. He turns around and he steps forward with his spear, Windrah, to attack you. And you get this sort of revulsion as this metal comes sliding towards you, right? And you can sort of see it, that it does hit you for 3 points of piercing. Or 16, I'm assuming 16 hits you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he stabs that into you. Filialis,
The emotional damage is worse.
Worse, is vastly worse, yes. Filialis, you look around at your peripheral vision while you're enraged. Your animal senses are firing up a bit. The humanoid part of your brain is telling you, hang on a minute, they're all buggering off. And you're stuck fighting this dude. Oh, God. All right, what are you doing?
That's a good question. All right. Well, if I don't attack anyone, I'll take damage. I'll attack someone.
Okay.
So first, I'll make an unarmed strike, which misses.
Misses. Yeah. This guy he's adept.
Yeah.
He's not a spear bully boy.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's worked before. I'll just...
Fiery blows. Those key points are draining away, mate.
Yes. That is what I'm aware of.
Yep. Now, keep in mind, you do have some inspiration, right?
Yeah.
So going forward, unfortunately, you can't use it now, but you could use that on another attack. So 19, 19 definitely hits him. Yeah.
Okay.
5.
So that's plus 2, so 7.
7 points. All right. So you smash into him with a blow. You see it strikes, but a lot of you can feel a lot of your force is going into his armor. Like his armor's taking a lot of your force. So there's a long way to go fighting this guy. All right. What are you doing, Filialis? See, his sword is coming around to swing back towards you.
Well, I guess I'm gonna get hit anyway.
Yep.
I might as well. I'll start to move away,
All right.
so I'll get the opportunity attack, but not the full attack, hopefully.
Okay. Go
So-
ahead.
Alright, so I'll move 30 to here and then 5
what
to be
happens.
behind there.
All right. So we'll see what happens as he swings down. 21 to hit for 12 points of slashing damage.
So I'll take that 6.
6, yep. And you see a sword catches your back as you start running away. And as his hands drop down, what I will say, Damian, at that point you look down and you can see, as his cloak pulls back, you can see that he is wearing like leather vambraces like on his wrists, and you can see that the symbol, the goat head symbol of Bessenwyck, is on those vambraces as like a branded into them with gold, like a gold coloured ink poured into a brand. All right. So it's his turn. So let me just have a quick look. Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He gets to the side of these rocks, and because of your height and the fact that you get more advantage from the cover of those rocks, it almost gives you full cover. Because of that distance, he switches his attack to Damian. And you can see that the... Damian, I'm going to say to you, this great sword is sort of coming up, this sword, and he's like swinging down on top of you. Those vambraces like apparent as they start coming down towards you. I'm going to get you to make a perception roll for me. Okay. On the inside of the vambraces, because you're looking up at his arms as they're starting to swing down, you can see that symbol, that fish symbol that you saw on the boat. The tattoos.
Ooh.
Of those guys is on the inside of the vambraces as the sword comes down on top of you. At this moment, because you have this recollection and it sort of sparks the activity of your mind, the voice of Father comes into your head. And I'm going to say to you that he has given you a slight advantage in movement where, if you choose to, you can turn and use Check Penny's body. As full cover.
Damian wouldn't do that.
Okay?
He's not gonna do that.
So what I'm going to say is with this attack, I'm going to roll the attack. Then I'm going to roll a d20. If it is 5 or below, right, you will have advantage of partial cover on the attack. All right? All right. So first, let's see if the attack hits you. And it will be a multi. So he's going to go twice. Right? The first blow, 13, would not hit you.
No.
Okay. 19.
Oh,
hit.
19? Yes, that one would hit me.
Yeah, for 13 slashing. So I'm going to roll a d20. If it's 5 or below, you get the benefits of +2 to your AC. What's your AC?
16, so it'd still hit.
It would still hit, so there's no point
Yep.
in actually making the roll. All right, this crushing blow of the blade like slices down your back.
13, that would take me down to 12.
Okay. So as he cuts through, and he's just like almost screaming, like in. I will say again, because you had that moment of enlightenment, give me a medicine roll. Okay, this warrior is in a similar condition of a rage. Right. Okay. The stun guard, it's his last turn of being stunned. He'll come out of stun next turn. Windrah.
If I move around the guard, not fleeing from him, but just shuffling around him, does he still get an opportunity attack?
No, if you
If you
stay
stay
within
within
5
5
feet.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna shuffle to the side
Yep.
and then
Thunderclap.
thunderclap him.
Okay. Trying to keep your mates out of it. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well, like I was thinking about maybe just letting Damian take a little bit, but after that, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you get no advantage to your DC or attacks at the moment, do you? Because of the storm weather.
Yeah.
Okay. DC 7, and it's con save, isn't it? Okay.
Did I get a turn?
Hey, no, you just got cut, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right. We'll get back.
You just-
We'll go straight back to you. Unfortunately, no, he's made the save.
Ah, damn it.
Okay. All right. Not quite sure what happened there, David. Why you didn't get a turn? Let's go back.
However, there is an echo.
You made a medicine roll. Yeah. Yeah, you just decided to do medicine, Damian. That was it. We moved on. No, you do have an action. Sorry, mate. Go right ahead.
Bleh. I wish I actually knew what I was gonna do though. I'm gonna drop my concentration on enhance ability
Okay.
and trade that for. How long is it? Okay, I'm gonna trade that for Shield of Faith
Mm-hmm.
and cast it on myself.
Okay.
So my AC goes up 2 to 18.
Yeah. Absolutely. Could you put it in chat for me again? Because I haven't seen it for a while. I'll just have a read of it.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
perfect.
If I was to cast Sacred Flame, would that be a disadvantage because of how close we are? Like,
No, because it's not technically. Could you just put it up? Because I don't actually think it's deemed to be a ranged attack, is it?
it just has a range.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually a ranged attack or a melee attack. I would not rule it as having a disadvantage to use it at close range. I'll have a think about it for next session, but I'm happy for you to use it now.
I'm gonna use. I'm actually changed my mind. I'm gonna use Toll to Death.
Okay,
It's the same deal.
you're right.
Have I got that in my? I do.
Now that is a ranged effect.
Oh, you sealed in range.
Yeah.
It says you point at one creature you can seal within range. It doesn't necessarily say it's a ranged attack. It's a spell.
No, no, you're right. It does say in range. No, I think that'll be exactly the same way. Okay, so we've got DC. What have we got? 14.
15 wisdom.
15 wisdom. Oh, sorry, that's come out. Yeah, it just come out
It
differently.
comes up weirdly sometimes.
Yeah.
I do technically have 2 different spell saves. It might be saying the other one.
Ah, okay. Wisdom. And you see he shakes it off. And straight away you think it's because of this rage effect that he's having. That it's blowing
I wish
it
I
off.
picked better spells. Wish I
Okay.
picked better spells.
Oh,
Anyway.
okay. So we are back to Squadge, who is moving down towards this punt. Unless
Oh, no. So
Yeah.
I've just called the guy in.
Mhm.
I'd like to take the. I look around to make sure the tire and the rest of the knots are following me, and they're not.
Yep.
So I'm going to take the cunning action
Yep.
of dash
Yep.
at that time, and I think that'll get me down to here, Matt.
Yep.
Throwing the axe, drawing the Relp blade, and I'm going to have a go at this guy.
Yeah, you just go like coming around that rock. Yeah,
Yeah.
by all means, go ahead.
And that's going to have sneak attack damage
Yep.
because I'm at advantage. So,
Yep. Okay.
oh,
All
damn.
right. Right, so you swing down towards him, but you see he sort of like dodges back as with that blow, and it's like just into like a panic as the blade comes through, strikes, and you can see that as the blade hits, you can sort of see that sort of spark, that sort of molten-y sparking that comes off it as it slams in to the blade. One thing, I'm not quite sure if Caleb is there, but his eyes are very much fixed on this warrior's blade. You can see those vambraces. For some reason, the vambraces, the 2 symbols on the vambraces, flare slightly. Almost at the same time, the Relp blade hits that spear and it sparks. There's like the icons on the vambraces flare. All right, but you couldn't see the action behind you. But for some reason, Damian, they flared for some reason. And your first thought is some new sort of arcane skullduggery is going to be coming at you and Filialis. Right. The actual guard will then swing in response to Squadge's attack. And we'll lunge the spear in for 6. So Squadge, the blade, the sparks has put him off, and the blade sort of like slides that way, away from you. Filialis, you're on this side of the rock, and you just watched your member of your knot, Damian, take that savage blow from the blade.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that the people are emerging, like travellers are emerging from their tents now. It's starting to become a scene.
Yeah. And so So whereabout is the punt?
You
Like, is that sort of nearish by, or?
you don't know where it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But you've heard the direction of the sound of me yelling and convincing someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what direction to go, and you look
Yeah.
up. You because of the rock, because of Damian, because of Check Penny on Damian's shoulder, you can't see Squadge and Windrah now.
Okay. Would I be able to make it past Damian?
Oh yeah, definitely through that. You
Yeah.
of all the party could get through the edge of that salt bush without a problem.
Sure. Would that provoke an opportunity attack?
No, because you had that rock between you that was giving
Yeah,
you full
yeah.
cover. Yep.
Cool. So I'll just move there
Mm-hmm.
and then strike at the guard.
Yep. Okay, so you're going to go up, go right ahead. Oh,
Like rolling fives.
No. You're sort of fixed on fives. Unfortunately, that does not hit.
They're actually twos, just to be clear, I reckon.
Yeah, they are. All right.
That's that.
Are we seeing another key point going, or are you run out?
I'm out.
You're out. Okay.
Oh,
I only get 3.
Would you like to cash in inspiration for a key point?
Yeah.
All right.
yeah.
I'll do that.
All right.
Good
You
work.
now have a key point.
No, I don't. I'll spend it right away.
Briefly. Go right ahead.
And it's worked
Worry?
before, I'll do it again.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Oh,
Both solid. Go right ahead. Yep. So a 5 and
Yeah,
a 6 and
6.
11. Yep. You smash like first into the ribs. You hear your ribs clatter, and then as he spins around, the next fist comes up. You feel go and the spine crack.
Yeah.
And you watch as he just tumbles down with the spear falling at his side. Okay. That was your full movement. If you still got any movement, anything else, you can go.
No, I think I'll just sort of stay relatively there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. The guard, the leader, Damian. Your father is still with you. You can still use Check Penny to block a blow. All right. Do you want to do that? You have to commit to using Check Penny's body as a shield to give you full cover.
He wouldn't. He wouldn't.
Okay, so we're back to the same thing, 1 to 5 for potentially adding partial cover if the attacks are successful. Again, we're going to multi-attack.
oh.
First attack misses, a 9, so you dodge to the side. The next is a 13, which does not hit you, so like you dodge and bang, bang, and like the two blades slam down around you.
That shield is making me feel
Is working it out, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. It's sort of deflecting. You can see the sparks as it's hitting it. Yep. Okay. Damian, you're up.
Okay. I'm going to cast. Let's put this one out. I'm going to cast Booming Blade.
Yep.
Just target weapons attack as normal effects. Alright, so I just roll and get the bone saw out.
Yep.
I don't mind if I have to use my bonus for that.
Can you use the bone saw as a bonus action because you're using your action to cast Booming Blade?
No, I just mean if I need to use my bonus to get it.
Ah, okay. All right. No worries. Cool. So
13.
13. All right. So unfortunately, it would not hit.
Okay, so that doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Yay. Can I try and like squeeze past, like over here?
You can go, but there'll be an opportunity attack.
Yep.
That's what you're doing? Okay.
Yep. Attempting to squeeze past and get down here.
Okay.
With check penny.
Okay. You've given yourself a bit of
I
a difficult task.
Yeah. I do not have the increased strength, but Damian himself on his own is still pretty strong.
Pretty strong, yeah.
So-
Because of his weight and he's now quite flaccid, 15 feet is not a big deal for you, so you can get down there.
Yeah.
The attack comes in 11, so you manage
Yep.
the shield deflects that again, so you manage to get down to that point. All right.
Yep.
That
I just want to
guard,
funnel him in where everyone is.
that guard is now alert. He is stunned, so he wasn't prone. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You'll get to that point. I'm just going to see what he can see. Okay. So he can see Filialis. What range have we got here? Alright, just need to check the range on his spear. Come on. Why isn't it showing the range for a spear before it becomes a disadvantage? Sorry, guys. Just taking
I
a
like
while.
to argue that, you know, from close range to decently far range, it's no disadvantage, right? 'Cause it's just stabbing at that point, you know?
It is 20 and 60. So, no, he's come to. He's in his right mind. And he knows if he throws that spear, he's not going to have a very good chance. So he holds that attack. But will continue to use his movement as a dash. 10, 15, 20, 25 to get alongside his leader. All right. Windrah.
Yes. One. Windrah is going to Gus,
Yep.
whatever. The main guy, the Gozik.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't
So humans count as medium.
Yes, he would. So he gets pushed away. If he's no more than 10 5-pounds, he's pushed 10 feet away. One medium as well. You can choose in the strength saving throw or being pushed up to 5 feet away. Yep. Okay. Strength saving throw against a DC of 7.
Yeah.
Okay. That is optimistic. Windrah?
Well,
Yep. No,
my thing is
love
wind.
It. I
Okay.
love it. I love it. I love it. 19. Like the blade comes through and just does not seem to disturb him at all.
Is he at least slightly perturbed? 'Cause that would make me happy.
Oh, the power goes through him. It does great things for his cloak. He looks even more menacing because his cloak sort of goes into the, the superhero sort of mode. If you like, I will let you make an intimidation roll if you were trying to look really stormborn, dangerous, and cool.
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right.
Go.
Not quite.
Arr.
No. So at the moment,
Thundergust.
no, unfortunately, you look more sort of a bit concerned and sort of still trying to dodge the last sort of gobs of puke that are coming out of Checkpenny as Damian is wheeling around, spinning his body around and running past you. All right.
And I will hold my movement in case Squadge starts moving backwards.
Okay. It is Squadge's turn.
Oh no, I yell, get to the punt behind us. We're taking a trip, my friends.
Okay.
I realise I haven't told my intentions haven't been sold to my party yet.
Okay. So you convey that? Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I would like to take. Use my fast hands.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'll let you decide this, Matt. Whether I can use that to stow a weapon, and then I'd like to draw my bow.
Yeah. No, I'm more than happy for you to do that. Yeah, that's a great use
I
of the
don't
skill.
have a bonus action.
No.
And I would then like to just fire an arrow.
Yeah. Oh,
At
and it hits.
Yeah, I was going to take it at the guard.
The guard, yeah, definitely. So that
Got
was
sneak attack on, so it's only 7. I'm sorry, it's only
Yeah.
7, not
okay. So
13.
definitely, you strike, you go to do that, but as you do it, the leader has a capacity where he can make your roll for anybody within 5 feet an ally at disadvantage. So the blade sort of, as your arrow fires in, he swings his blade down and deflects your arrow off his blade away from his soldier. And looks at you. You know, in any other circumstance, this fight would have stopped if it wasn't for him. He is just in like a bloodlust now.
Yeah.
You very clearly, Squadge, with that, when you're looking at him, you know that if you don't kill him, he will keep going until he thinks he can kill you. All right.
I picked the wrong one.
Any further movement?
Yeah, look, I'm going to encourage the troop to move in this direction.
Yep.
10.
Yep.
To here,
Yep.
because I can still take him with my arrow from there.
Yeah.
And
no
because
worries.
Squadge is moving, I move.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. You held off. Yep. Go right
Okay.
ahead. All right. So that guard is still in. Oh, that one's dead. Filialis.
Alright, let's see. So these rocks are like
Jumpable.
easily passable, would they be double
Yeah.
movement?
No. You can move through them, between them. The gap's big enough.
Cool.
Yep.
This way.
Yep. All right. So you go up following the path that Squadge is indicating. Yep.
Yeah.
And that was at dash, or no, just regular movement?
Just standard movement.
Okay, so any other actions you want to take when you get there?
I think I just want to hold a dart in my hand, and
yeah.
like just prepare to throw it at
A volley
something.
if you need to. Yep, no worries.
Yep.
All right, the leader, the leader of the guards, 5, walks up and looks at Damian. What are they going to do when they come back while I'm gutting you? And moves up towards you with the blade. Again, he'll multi-attack. He swings down on you 13. Your shield deflects him off. Like. Now, I'm not even going to bother asking you about using check penny. The next one does get through, I believe. Right, I'll make the D20 roll to see if it's 1 to 5. No, it isn't. So definitely that 6 points of slashing hits you, Damian. Okay. And he will not move. He's staying there. Damian, you're up. Facing him, check penny on your shoulder.
Okay.
All your will forcing into going into your focus on the shield that's keeping you alive at the moment.
Okay. I'm going to cast Healing Word on myself as a bonus action,
Yep, go ahead.
which is per default. That's right. Thanks, guys.
There we go.
Thank you so much. So that's
5 points.
six.
Oh.
Two. So I just got back what I lost.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to use my action to dash.
Okay, so you're going to take an opportunity attack.
Yep.
And remember, you can only move at half your speed, so you're moving 30 feet, carrying check penny.
Yep.
Okay.
That's why I'm dashing.
All right. You're off.
The weave for everyone.
All right.
10, 10.
Carrying check penny. Like, come on! Like, carrying this. Come on. You've got this deranged guy chasing you with a sword. Brilliant. All right. He will hack down at you for a 19 to hit. Does your shield save you?
No, 18 is where I'm at.
Okay, so I'll do the check penny roll. Unfortunately, no. Having check penny doesn't
That's right.
lend anything. So 8 more points of slashing damage.
It's a good thing I healed myself.
Yeah, okay. So you're on the edge, are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got that. And it's getting good. It's looking like I'm getting close to my first kill of the campaign. With a bit of luck. All right, the guard. The guard will 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Can someone have a quick look for me? Does spear have spear doesn't have reach? That's the stupid thing in the rules, isn't it? That halberds do and glaives do, things like that.
Correct.
Spears don't have reach. That's so weird. All right. So he will have his opportunity. Oh, I'm going to make this a wisdom saving throw. If he gets 11 or better, he does not throw the spear. He keeps it because it's the only weapon he's carrying. Yes, he does. He does not throw the spear this turn. He's keeping it because he's not in range to attack. Windrah.
Woo. We're gonna gust him again.
Okay. So
Gonna
you cast
gust that guard, yeah.
Yeah, so strength saving throw. Ten. So he's made
Damn it.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Can I try intimidating again?
Yeah,
with
by
the
all
gust of
means,
wind.
by all means, go right ahead. Oh!
Oh, yeah.
All right, so what I got to say, like, you're blowing back, and while the gust doesn't push him back, just your ferocity and your, you know, like your red eyes coming out and everything like that, it has a similar effect. It actually moves him back. He just like moves back from you with his own indecision about throwing it, and then he sort of steps back with his own weapon. So it has the same effect as the spell. Okay. All right, squad. Oh, movement, Windrah.
Yeah, falling further back.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I don't know exactly where we were heading, but just
Well,
falling
sorry,
back.
the punt is this way.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was right near it. So maybe I just move onto the punt then.
Yeah. Oh, it's probably about a 20, 30 foot decline down there, so it'll be another turn, roughly, for you guys.
All right. Well, I'll head that way.
So you've got that movement going, so I'm going to say, I'm going to put you over here, sort of like off the map, but I roughly know you're like halfway down to the punt. All right?
And I would have said Damian probably would have done the same.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing with Damian. And then I'll look at the movement of where everybody is and make a determination as to whether they'll get the opportunity to get in for the attack until you get to the punt. Right, go ahead. Squadge.
Yeah, I'd like to take another shot with a bow.
Right.
I know I'm just wasting arrows, but...
Who are you targeting?
I'm going to target the big boy this time.
Okay.
Because obviously targeting his minions didn't work that well.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, 18.
Oh, and it hits. That is his AC. So he got through. Okay, so 6 points of piercing. It slams into him. Okay. Damian, make a medicine roll for me. Oh, dear. Like, you sort of like, you're looking at him as you turn your head, but you know you missed something in the assessment of this guy's. Squadge's arrow hits him just as he goes out of line of sight as you start running down towards this, towards the punt. All right. Filialis, I gather you're heading down towards the punt as well?
I will, but first I'll just throw a dart at might as well throw it at the bodyguard.
So the leader is, what's the range of your darts though?
I'll have to Google that.
Just see whether you're at disadvantage. Because I've got you at 30 feet.
20-60 for a dart.
Is it 20 and 60? Okay, so if you throw at the guard, you would have no disadvantage, but at the leader, disadvantage on your throw.
Alright, I'll throw it at the regular guy then.
All right, go ahead. Unfortunately,
Oh,
it missed. So your dart sort of sails over his shoulder. Unfortunately. All right, your movement or bonus.
And then I'll no bonus action, and then I'll just move.
Yep, gonna head
towards
down.
the punt.
Yeah. So I'm going to say where you are, where you were before, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You're actually leaping onto the front of the punt. All right?
Okay.
At the end of your turn. The guard. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 comes up, moves forward to Squadge. Okay. Now, Squadge, you didn't move after your bow attack.
I had the intention of moving.
No, but that's
onto
fine.
the.
No, I think you would have. I'm just
only
saying.
within, but to protect the party, I was only. My idea was to move onto the gangplank, or onto the wharf, but only within 5 feet of the wharf. So I wanted to be on the wharf level.
Yeah.
I wanted to be on hard decking now, and I was going to ask: is it planked, or what is the wharf? Is it actually a rampart earth?
It's a packed earth in amongst stones. Right. So there's no wood at all.
Yeah, that's better for what I'm thinking anyway. But but if you imagine me 5 feet in, he'd still get to me. No problems.
All right. Yeah. So he will come in again. 20 with the first attack for 11 slashing damage.
Hit. Yeah.
And 8, he misses
Oh,
with the second.
No,
he missed.
I'm down.
Oh, for the
Oh,
11
yeah,
slashing.
No. 11 slashing, I'm still up.
So he's right, he's still up. Right. Did Squadge faint or start to faint? And then get back up again.
Spoiled his pants for sure.
Okay. All right, so he's slashing down at you, and Squadge, you see those sort of things coming out, and as he's like attacking down at you, you can feel the rope blade. It's scabbarded because you put it back in its scabbard, but you can actually see the glow in the scabbard, and you can actually see that there's like signs of damage of heat in the edges, like the stitching of the scabbard is you're pretty certain it's not, if the proximity of this guy to you is causing the stitching to start to heat up. Okay, so as you sort of are recoiling from the attack. All right, now Damian, your movement, you can get onto the punt, carrying check penny. You're close enough now.
Yep, I will do that.
All right, so we're going to bring you back here. Yeah.
Oh, no, Squadge can get away. That's alright. I am going to cast Tell the Dead on
Yep. All right.
the big boy.
So that was DC 15, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and that is
Wisdom, I
saving
believe.
throw. He's failed it.
I didn't roll damage for that.
Go
Hang on.
ahead.
I've gotten lost in my tabs. It is... Oh, I have it up here. Why didn't I not just do that? Is it coming through? I don't know.
It will. It
Oh,
will eventually. Give it time. There we go.
I rolled
What's
it.
8.
I rolled it twice by accident.
Yeah, the 8 one. So yeah, you see it blast, but again, you make another medicine roll for me.
Come on, big money.
Okay. You suddenly realise I want you to make an Arcana roll at advantage at the same time.
I think.
At advantage? No. So I'm going to say 11 is going to be okay because the medicine was so high. You suddenly realise, Damian, the worst thing you can do is kill this guy.
Okay.
You realise his rage is not minimising the damage, it's increasing the damage.
Okay. Alright, it's alright. We're leaving now anyway. Can I use my bonus to just say to the guy driving, look, we need to go. We will pay you anything.
All right. See your just sincerity. You've got what looks like a dead guy in your shoulder. He's going, all right. He's grabbing his pole. He's getting in position. He's going to start heaving with the pole. All right. So we've still got Squadge up there looking pretty rough. The guard comes through, steps up onto this rock, Squadge, and he throws the spear down. He stabs down into you with the spear. For a 15 to hit.
That is a hit.
For 6
And I'm
points.
down.
He just skewers you with the spear.
Yeah, I'm down.
Such
Well, I've got a 15 armor class. Does that mean I'm okay?
No, yeah, it's to match it. That's all. So you're all sitting on the punt, like shocked. You watch as this spear like goes down into him at the end. This is not like Squadge. Squadge is not normally the guy who's holding the last line of defense. But he's done this for you, the oldest member of your party. All right, Windrah. Now I'm going to say in this session, we're going to go for another round after this to see how we go. All right, Windrah, your companion is down.
Yeah.
You're halfway down the causeway.
Oh god, if I run back up, I could run back up. I am going to use my special item. I'm going to use the Gem of Ash.
Okay. Do you want to explain to the guys what the Gem of Ash does?
So I wrote a bunch of ones in that. The Gem of Ash has scorching ray.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Yeah, Scorching Ray at a 2nd level. So
Okay.
I'm gonna hurl that at the main guy.
Now, the one thing I didn't tell you about that is when you crush that, right?
Yeah.
So you crush the stone, the power comes into you as a Scorching Ray at 2nd level, but it also attacks at advantage. I've withheld something about all the special items.
So it's attacking me.
No, it crushes, and as it does break, and you start hurling these scorching rays, you see the glass fragments of the stone are absorbed into your skin. And you know in your heart, Windrah, only a Stormborn could absorb this. So going forward, you can now cast Scorching Ray at 2nd level once per day at no cost to your spell slots. But it will not attack at advantage. This is the only opportunity to attack at advantage.
Okay.
Right? All right. So it's been absorbed into your body. Okay. So you have 3 Scorching Ray beams that are going to come out at 2nd level.
Yeah. I don't know if I have that in my...
That's okay. So what I'll do is just call up the spell and compendium and use a spell attack roll, and you will have advantage on that. And what are your targets?
It's going to be the main guy twice and the other guy once, right?
See where you're going. Yep.
Sorry, I'm just pulling it up in front of me as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no problem.
So 2d6 fire damage on a hit.
But it increases per level. So
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So basic spell attack. How do I do that? Spellcasting ability. Do I just hit my wisdom or something?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, it's just
so I'll just hit. So I'll just hit the wisdom.
At advantage.
Button. Yep. At advantage. All right.
So the first. You didn't tell me who you were targeting first. Was that the guard?
Yeah, the main.
Yeah.
The main guy. Gozik.
We've got to do something about your wisdom.
Yeah, I'm not very wise. I don't know why you guys think I'm so smart. I really don't know what I'm doing here.
Go ahead. Fire again. 13, unfortunately, the beam is deflected off his armor.
Okay. So I try one more time on him or on the other guy. Yeah, I'll go for the other guy.
Okay. Oh, that definitely
Right.
hits. So 2d6. Oh, enough. It's enough. He was already wounded. So you just blast him away. He burns away and falls off the rock after jabbing down at Squadge. So he is gone. Okay. So that falls down. The rest of you turn. You see, like Windrah turns away angry that they hadn't all struck, and you notice that the red of her eyes seems to have this like smoky smouldering in it since this stone was absorbed. Okay. Squadge, you are out, my friend. You need to make a death saving throw.
We can do that. We can pass one of them. And if we don't, it doesn't matter because we've got 2 more.
Unless you roll a 1.
Well, unless I fumble it. But I get to roll on the fumble chart. See how bad it was.
No.
Is this how we do it?
This is one exception. No, a pass. You have saved 1 death save. All right, but who knows how much longer if you take any damage now.
Yeah, I know. I
It's
know how it works.
over and done with. Filialis, your companion is there. You're on the punt.
So how far away am I from
The action.
Slight Hands?
Oh, no, you're within 30 feet. So
Within 30 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so what I want to do...
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry. I'm trying to fix something. Sorry.
The gem of arse 2H.
My push to talk is bound to like the 2 button on my mouse. So it just
Okay.
if I'm in any text box, it just 2.
I am definitely taking a snip of the gem of arse.
That's
That's a
2
classic. Absolute classic. Right, gotcha.
All right.
Yep.
Alright, so what I'm going to do...
Okay,
Is,
that's -1 damage.
I'm going to move
Yep.
to Squadge.
Yep.
So would grabbing hold of him be an action?
Yeah, definitely. Like, getting hold of him. Yeah, got 30-foot movement. You got, how much movement have you got? 30.
40.
Yeah, grabbing hold of him would be an action. But I think in this circumstance, I'm going to let you pull him away if you want to, or take another action of some kind, the bonus action.
Okay, so would the healing orb that I've got
Yep.
is touching that an action or a bonus action?
Oh, that's a bonus action. Yeah, using it.
Okay, so
Yep.
so I'll grab Squadge, drag him
Yep. 10 feet.
the 10 feet back,
Yep.
and then I will use my healing orb to one of its other charges per day to deal 1d4.
Okay.
4.
4 points. So, Squadge, you come around with the orb.
Does that mean I
So-
get 1 point?
Sorry? Yeah, basically, you've just been
Any
hit.
healing is 1 point.
Yeah,
Once you're
so,
dead.
so you come back to 1 hit point. As you get dragged back that 10-foot distance by your companion. Now, there's no opportunity attack on you because you are not moving yourself.
Mm.
Yep. Okay. Excellent, Filialis. Right, so the guard. He comes down the rampart. Steps sort of on Squadge's cloak. And sort of basically on top of him almost. Walks up and he will swing with his multi-attack and he will have a go at Filialis and at Windrah. Swinging this blade above his head. Filialis, 22 to hit for 9 slashing.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay. The Windrah, 7 to hit.
Yes.
So Windrah dodges the blade. So we've now got Damian. We've got, all right. We now have, wow. We now have Filialis down. Right, that is his action. He's not going to move. Damian. Check Penny is now on the punt.
I have a weird question.
Sure.
Can I trade an inspiration point
Right.
to change one of my prepared spells?
Absolutely.
Okay. I hope this works.
Mm-hmm.
Cross that off. I
Mm-hmm.
am going to cast
Yeah.
Hold Person.
All right. On that dude. Yeah. Okay.
It is a Wisdom 15 save.
15. Okay.
Wow.
Wisdom saving throw.
Can't wait. Pause.
What?
Pause. Can I
Right.
use my other inspiration to impose disadvantage?
Oh.
Oh, Lord, I'm gonna say no. I don't think you can use
Okay.
2 inspirations at the
Fair
same
enough.
turn.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
And he's saved.
Oh. Great idea. Great idea.
Right, yeah. You see your energy goes over him and you see he just shakes his head over the top of you. And he looks up at Damian and goes, good try. Right. Any movement? Anything else you want to do? Any movement or bonus action?
I'm going to bonus action Spare the Dying on Filialis.
Okay, no worries. Could you just
Yep.
chuck that into chat for me? I want to go back and do
Yeah.
the review.
As part of my class features,
Yep.
I can do it as a bonus action.
Yes. Yeah. No, I'm aware of that. So you need to physically come in and touch him. So you're getting to
No,
that.
sorry. I also have a range of 30 feet as part of the class thing. I can get it
Right.
up.
No worries. I'll leave you there. No,
Yeah.
completely believe you. So, right. So you use your class features from distance to bring
Nice.
Filialis back. So, yep.
So that means I'm stable but not conscious, right?
Yeah, you become stable, yeah, but you aren't, yeah.
Yeah.
But you are not dead. Yep,
It's only mostly dead.
mostly dead. It's excellent. No, great turn though from Damian. Right, the guard is dead. That's been, we just sorted that out. Windrah, this is the last action of the session.
Have I caught wise yet that I'm not supposed to attack?
No. Damian hasn't had a chance to show.
Fabulous. Yeah, we're going to guiding bolt.
All right. Okay.
Nice.
When my
It doesn't-
internet allows.
Okay.
It doesn't
So-
matter if it just we can't get the other two unless he's out of the way. So.
Yeah.
I have a cunning plan.
Oh no! It blasts wide again. Okay, so just wham, just blasts through, but doesn't hit him. All right, so here we are, the end of the session. We have Squadge alive and barely living, but rousable, but with basically this guy standing over the top of him, Filialis unconscious but stable, Windrah right there next to him with this blade, and Damian lying next to you on the floor. And the punt guy is still trying to pull that punt out with Damian and Jack Penny on it. And starting to go away from the wharf.